Avoiding spoilers for a major film event like Star Wars Episode IX: The Rise of Skywalker can be a little difficult. For those involved with the production of Star Wars toys, going into the theater cold can be next to impossible, but that doesn't mean they don't try. The good folks at Cinema Blend recently spoke to a couple individuals in the business of Star Wars merchandising, and they were quick to confirm that ducking those spoilers can be a real hassle. Designing toys is a very lengthy process. The long lead times mean that designers will be introduced to new characters long before the general public, sometimes years before. This can often mean that it's necessary for plot points to be given away in order for a toy's manufacturer to understand why it must be designed in a certain way. However, according to Lucasfilm's Senior VP for Licensing, Paul Southern, that doesn't mean that toy makers are forced to hear spoilers. At a recent event revealing a portion of Rise of Skywalker's toy line, Southern indicated that there's a surprising amount of leeway given to those who are extra determined to avoid spoilers. He told Cinema Blend, "You need to have a basic understanding of the architecture of each toy, but there are elements that are, no, I don't really want to know about that." There are actually people who are working on the film products that want to know nothing, and they actually will not go to meetings. It seems like that would make it impossible to do your job without going to meetings, but apparently it's not. It's just difficult. Southern said, "We have some briefings. We get some information that allows us to make the right decisions and also allows us to see the role of the characters so that we can reflect that in the toys and the rest of the merchandise. But there are people on my team that say, I don't want to be there. I'll work on it and I'll develop it, but I just don't want to know the context because I don't want it to be spoiled when I go and see the film." It's a fine balance. You might think it would be tough for a head honcho like Southern himself to avoid facing the full brunt of every spoiler, but apparently he finds ways to dodge the big reveals too. He said, "There are elements that I don't want to know about because ultimately I want to have a great experience when I go to the cinema. But I know enough about the architecture of the film so that we know what to be focusing on." Of course, it's not like Lucasfilm wants to dole out spoilers left and right. The fewer of them get out there, the smaller the chance that they'll make their way to the general public. With that in mind, it's interesting to know that the development process for Star Wars merchandise can take a little longer than it does for non-tentpole related toys, because the studio will often be intentionally vague when meeting with designers. Take it from Mike Balog, Senior Director of Global Marketing for Hasbro, which is handling the Rise of Skywalker toy line. He said that design elements of certain toys will often have to be changed midway through the development process for that very reason, a dynamic that has just kind of been factored into the way they work. According to him, sometimes we'll go down the direction that we think is going to be the best expression, and then we'll put a model in front of the studio guys and we'll have a conversation. They'll be like, well, now he's going to do this. We're like, oh, and we'll go back and fix it. It's an iterative process. So the next time you're at the store looking at Star Wars toys, take a moment to appreciate all the hard work that's gone into the creations, and the even harder work that those designers put in to avoid spoiling themselves for the new movie. Star Wars Episode IX: The Rise of Skywalker hits the big screen on December 20th. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.